With Daniel Craig retiring as James Bond this year, everyone is wondering who's going to be filling up the 007 position now. And one of the potential names that have come up for the new Bond is Dwayne Johnson. That's right, Dwayne Johnson wants to be the next James Bond, but who will be cast? Let's find out. What makes Dwayne Johnson an excellent candidate? As you may already know, Dwayne Johnson is one of the most bankable and highly paid actors in Hollywood. He is witty, good-looking, and an incredible actor. He also looks pretty great in a tux, and all of these are ingredients to the perfect Bond. But perhaps the most important reason why Johnson is an excellent candidate for the Bond role is that he is in love with that character himself. That's right, Johnson has always been a fan of the Bond franchise, and his eyes are firmly fixed on playing James Bond. Did you know that Johnson's grandfather acted in a Bond movie once? He played a villain in the 1967 Bond film called You Only Live Twice. The movie was an instant hit, of course, and young Johnson immediately fell in love with Bond's character. In fact, he recently talked about his grandfather, Peter Maivia's role as a villain in the movie, and his experience filming for the Bond franchise. After sharing this, he also mentioned that he had made it his aim to follow in the family's footsteps and score a character in the Bond films. But he doesn't want to just play any character. Johnson wants to be Bond himself. In the interview, he said, "I don't want to be a villain, gotta be Bond." Will he end up as Bond? Even though the man can pull off a sharp suit and has that legendary eyebrow raise that can be well suited to the mystique of a spy, Johnson might not end up as Bond this time. One of the main reasons is that he's not British. Bond is supposed to be an inherently British character, and unless he can slay the British accent, he might not be the best candidate for the job. Another important reason why Johnson might not succeed Craig as Bond is that there are a ton of other talented actors queued in line for the position. Becoming Bond is one of the best experiences ever, and every actor wants to try it out at least once. So Dwayne's name is yet to be added alongside the many actors who've been tipped to take on the role. Actors like Henry Cavill have also been approached by the press with the same question, but nobody really knows who the producers will select as the new Bond. Cavill addressed the rumors in a recent interview when he was asked if he might be swapping his cape for a tuxedo. The Superman star told the press, "I think it would be very exciting to have a conversation with the producers. In an ideal world, I'd never had to turn anything down. Nothing is off the table. It's an honor to even be part of that conversation." Who else is rumored to play Bond? Here's a list of actors who might just end up as the new Bond. Some of them have been selected by fans, and others have allegedly been approached by the franchise for the role. Number 1. Lashana Lynch. One of the first names on this list is Lashana Lynch. Lynch has already worked in a Bond film, so fans think we should have her as the next Bond. Also, some fans have insisted that the franchise needs more female representation, and as you might have expected, Lynch is perfect for the job. But even though she's a talented actress and a potential Bond replacement, she probably won't get the role. By the end of her Bond movie, No Time to Die, she hands Bond his shirt back at the end. That's quite symbolic because even though she gets to pretend to be Bond in the movie, she can never really be him. Maybe this is because Barbara Broccoli has made it very clear that James Bond will never be a woman. It's a bit of a shame since she's an actor of sparkling wit with a knack for a fast-paced action sequence, and everybody would love to see her as Bond on the stage. But apparently, her casting as Bond would upset the people who think a fictional character can only ever be a white British man. Number 2. Dev Patel. Dev Patel has done several award-winning films at a very young age. He's a young actor with tons of potential, which is why people think he's going to make a great Bond. In fact, he's positioned himself as one of Britain's most interesting and pliable leading men. At just 31 years old, he's got a couple of action films under his belt, as well as some notable indie dramas. You might not be aware of this, but he's directing and starring in the action thriller Monkey Man that is coming out very soon. This movie would make him the first actor to have directed a film before playing Bond. Patel has admitted that he wanted to be considered for the Bond role, but he's also intimidated by it. He said, "I don't know what I would like to play," he admitted in a 2016 roundtable, "but I know what I'm afraid of playing, those big studio movies." But it's also important to note that he was saying that about M. Night Shyamalan's famously Bobbins' The Last Airbender, which turned out pretty horrendous. Number 3. Luke Evans. Luke Evans is also a great potential candidate for the Bond role. One of the main reasons why is that he's a solid actor and has the dramatic flair that Bond often needs. But if he really wants the job, there are a couple of roadblocks in his way. The first problem is that he's 42. This means that if he wants to be Bond, he should get cracking as soon as possible, especially if he wants to fit in more than a couple of movies. But that might not be a possibility for him right now, given his busy schedule. So Evans might be most likely not taking up the Bond role. Number 4, Tom Holland. Everybody loves Tom Holland. He's a dashing actor, and he's done really well in the Marvel superhero franchise, but what makes Holland extra special is that he's a man with one of the largest and most vocal fan bases on social media. The 24-year-old Spider-Man actor's name hasn't been mentioned in the Bond debate right now, but fans are predicting this will change very soon. And it all makes sense. Holland is handsome, he's British, and he has extensive leading man experience with one of the most popular superhero franchises in the world. He even took on the role of Nathan Drake in the recent Uncharted film adaptation, where he played a grizzled hero who knew his way around a gun. Also, the prospect of introducing Bond to a younger, Marvel-obsessed audience will be a tempting one, and the stands will put their full weight behind a casting campaign if Holland is to be considered. But maybe they won't. Perhaps his fans might not want Holland getting involved with the Bond franchise, probably because it's an incredibly time-consuming role that could even keep him from continuing as Spider-Man or starring in any of the 10,000 spin-offs and reboots that Marvel has planned for the next few years. Guess we'll have to wait and see. But one thing is for sure, Tom Holland as Bond would be a sight to see. Number 5, Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy is another great choice for the role. This year, it was revealed that season 6 of the BBC's Peaky Blinders will be the last one. And once all that's over and done with, Cillian Murphy will be free to take on another prominent leading man role, and ideally, one with less demanding grooming demands. So that iconic Baker boy that will weigh him down no longer. So Bond rumors have begun to swirl around the dashing Irish actor as well. You might not be aware of this, but he's long been in the conversation and has also addressed some of these rumors in the past. To be honest, Murphy is a great choice. He's proven that he can play a gun-toting hard man with the required passion, and also has a ton of critically acclaimed work under his belt. But some critics have spoken against his casting, saying that he wouldn't represent the kind of radical departure that some fans and critics are crying out for. Some people have also pointed out issues with his age and said that at 44, he may not fit the bill anyway. This is because a Bond actor should ideally be younger when they start. Daniel Craig, for example, was 6 years younger when he took on the job in 2006, and fans think that Barbara Broccoli will ultimately want to bring a younger Bond to screens, so we don't know if she's going to consider him for the role. Bond or not, Murphy is a king anyway. What do you think? Will Dwayne Johnson get the highly coveted Bond role, or will it be another actor? Do you think Bond should be played by a female this time around? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, and we'll see you next time.